guys, boy named Sue, coming at you live straight from Big Potato. Doing a little chill Sunday stream this time. We're gonna be doing Disco Elysium again. I was looking forward to this because it's been a hot minute since we were able to play this, and the last time people were kind of distracting me. Like there was a lot of people like texting me about work and shit. So hopefully we don't have any distractions like that this time, and we can just enjoy the game. We had just started exploring the other side of the little water gate. We talked a little. We'd talked a little bit to the people in the fishing village, and we'd come out here and found my car that I crashed. That was as far as we had gotten. Okay, we'll keep on exploring over here, I guess. It's kind of a long walk up here, but I want that money. You already been in here? Oh, no that we have. Traffic beyond the gate, more abandoned motor lorries. What's that doing? I don't understand. The sign says no entry. Someone scribbled an inverted star on it. So we can't get in there? Okay. Have we been up here though? I feel like that might be a yes. Birds on the birch tree, barely audible coos come from above. Sounds of life in the north. The washboard scrubs filth from fabric. Okay, we've definitely been up this way. That's where we got our spirits. And this would be where the old woman was, yeah. Can't see into the house from this angle. Inside you hear the cozy sound of some kind of heater sputtering.
The door has seen better days. The layer of paint has started to peel off due to the salt and wind. from the sea. Even the lock looks slightly rusted.
Unlock
I'll
the
wait
door.
outside to give you some time and privacy to check out your new living arrangements and look for any signs of Ruby. But just so you know, after we are done with the day, I'll still be staying in the Whirling in Rags for the night. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
The key turns with a satisfying click. You can enter the shack now.
Let's check it out. Floorboards creak under our steps. You see the waves, the sea, a church.
On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small hand mirror. A straight razor soaks inside the wash basin.
Is shaving the right
The water
call?
reflects back a vague image of your face. Nose bulbous and red, hair unkempt, wrinkles lining the eyes and forehead. The stash is gigantic. You'll be looking like a pansy without the chops. A fucking pansy.
Okay, time to shave, get these mutton chops off.
Like an artist with a brush or a master swordsman, you use the small mirror and the straight razor with some soap to remove all that unkempt hair from below the nose line. The sharp blade chafes against your skin, producing a scratching sound. The surface underneath the beard feels tender, the air brushing against it chilly.
Feel your clean shaven
They feel
cheek.
so smooth, surprisingly so. A feeling of freshness overcomes you, as if you just came from a cold bath.
Was
The
shaving the
water
right call?
reflects back a vague image of your clean-shaven face. Despite the bulbous nose, unkempt hair, and persistent swelling, you look a little younger, maybe. You almost look like a professional. Your face, such as it is, a regular human face, sans expression.
I think I liked his face more with the mutton chops. Put it back on. Put it back on. Old science fiction magazines, books about bird watching, an almanac from 39.
As you look at the floorboards in this corner of the shack, it's clear one of them isn't quite level with the others. The edge of a floorboard next to it looks scratched. Hollow
Move to the
space
side.
underneath the floorboards is dark and damp. You can barely make out the mixture of sand and sawdust below. Nothing
in here?
particular catches your eye. Looks like more reeds. There might be something hidden inside the sand, though. Something bad. Someone's night thoughts. A last resort. A bad idea. You
Search
stick
through
your
it.
hand in and start combing through the sand. Dry, not like outside. Fine dust. And then something hard wrapped in paper. A small
is it?
cylindrical object. You pull it out. A bullet. A 9
What?
millimeter bullet, to be exact. Fit for all muzzle loaders of that caliber.
A bullet.
The
Interesting.
floorboard doesn't care. But maybe the washerwoman does. You have enough to confront her with. Holding the bullet, you get the feeling this isn't ammunition against you. It's for herself.
This intricate heat engine hums quietly, giving out pleasant warmth.
A brisk coastal wind still howls against the window of the shack. Occasionally, the waves crawl in under the foundation, producing a low hum. The room
Listen.
feels muffled, like you pulled your hat over your ears. Outside, it is cold and windy, but you're inside, and it feels safe and warm.
What is this place to you?
It's free. That's good enough. I could live
Waves
here.
crash onto the beach, drowning the reeds. Far to the south, a congregation gathers to a soup kitchen in a shelter for the homeless. An old woman gives out knitted scarves for free. This could have been you. This could still be you. A down-on-his-luck nobody, trying to survive.
Thank you, strange sensation, for a fair assessment of the current situation.
Outside, the howl of the wind has picked up. The waves crash against the stilts again. It's as if you think the thought, but in someone else's voice.
Revachol forever.
On the
Okay.
table, you see a bowl of water.
Alright, I guess it's time to go, huh? I wonder what Kim will think of my... Do you have anything to say? About me shaving my beard?
Yes?
So,
Yes.
shaved.
I don't know what to say. Perhaps,
I know. Stunning, right?
I'm really not sure about this turn of events. I may have preferred the mutton chops. They sort of seem to cover up the...
Damage.
Either way, good on you. You were saying?
You know what? Nothing.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
Why was there a bullet under the floorboards of the
Damn
shack?
that girl.
She murmurs
Buddy.
softly. Lieutenant turns to you and gives you a little nod, and then turns to the
You didn't
washerwoman.
put it there, did you? She did.
Gone and hid things in there? She's usually a good tenant, and not a stupid one either.
You rented the room to her?
Yes, I let my room to that Ruby girl.
She speaks slowly, wringing out a rag after a long silence. Her hands move into the water bucket. Some water sloshes over the edge.
As I've done before when she's been in trouble or just looking for solitude. I've made it clear. We welcome all kinds of people here.
When was this?
She came last Friday, left on Monday in a hurry. What has she gotten herself into? That girl.
Her wrinkled hand kneads a blue rag in the
She
water.
seems genuinely worried about her previous tenant. She's seen her hiding out from trouble before. But this seems different.
That's for the police to find out. Right then, please answer each question to the best of your ability. I'm sure we have a few.
The lieutenant takes out his familiar blue notebook. You said she left on Monday?
Yes, early with the dogs, around 8 o'clock, I think.
She probably heard the lieutenant's Kanema drive by, and it woke her up, just like it did you.
Kim, she must have heard your Kanema.
Yes. That is a downside of having a 130 kilowatt engine. It lets the bad guys know when you're coming.
His voice is tinged with pride. Is the room exactly as she left
I
it?
cleaned it, like I always do.
Was there anything else in
No.
there? What is she like, Ruby?
She's good company. Knows how to talk to an old woman. At my age, you don't get a lot of quality conversation. So I really appreciate that about her.
She rubs her cold hands together.
Did she talk to you much during her last stay?
No, she was mostly silent this time. Kept to herself.
What do you
She
mean?
tried not to let it show, but I could tell she hadn't come to fish. Usually she likes to cast a few lines, but this time she mostly stayed in her room.
Why do you think she left the bullet
How
there?
would I know? She's a gruff one, but not violent. She doesn't go around toting a gun.
She looks back towards the shack,
You
thinking.
could ask her about your hunch, that it was a desperate measure. See if she thinks Ruby fits the bill.
I have a possible explanation in my mind.
Aye. Do tell.
A seagull flies overhead. Obviously a bad omen. It's an exit plan.
Exit from what?
The
That's
lieutenant stops writing for a moment. He looks at you, then at the old woman.
No, she's a fighter.
She tilts her head to the side, looking up at you, deep in
Not a
thought.
quitter, like you sometimes get, son.
Does she have any technical equipment with her, like radio stuff?
Not that I know of, though she was into nice music. She once showed me a few mixtape millions she'd made.
She brushes her forehead with the back of her hand. Water drips to the
Although
ground.
I guess she was pretty handy with the mechanical and technical stuff. Even fixed the heater in the shack. You should be thankful for that.
She may simply have kept the equipment elsewhere.
Where did she
I
go?
don't know. Further up the coast, she tried to leave quietly, but the hinges on that door screeched like a cat in heat. Woke me up. I heard her rushing in those heavy boots, heading up north. You'll never find her, you know. She knows the coast like the back of her hand. You only just arrived.
Her tone is without malice.
I wouldn't worry about that, ma'am. We are persistent.
Man, I was really hoping she'd be hiding in this village.
Yes, it's going to be too much work for you to find her. Better for you to stay here, get a nice cozy fire going in the heater.
She drops the rag into the bucket. It's clean
No,
now.
you can do it. You still have plenty of juice in you before you drop. Behind the cinder block houses, old pre-war ruins rise to the sky like dark palaces. The wind calls.
Alright, I'm
One
off.
thing, officer. If you do find her, please go easy on her.
She looks around. The air is
She
getting
really
colder.
means it. It's an honest plea.
She's a good girl. Whatever she's gotten herself mixed up in.
Alright, well, I'll keep that in mind because you were nice enough to give me a house for free. What are these doing in the fish? It's a good question.
Hi, officer.
Cavalry boots? A woman in a raincoat stands on the quay. That's how you pronounce that, right? I sure fucking hope so. Considering an overturned boat, a sword and a scabbard hangs from her hip.
Anything I can help you with?
It depends. Where are we
A fishing
exactly?
village on the seashore. This place doesn't really have a name. It's sometimes called Elysium.
Why?
The sign on the street leading here is illegible. Has been since they built this place.
The wind rattles her earrings. I've got questions. The first is,
The
what's your
name's
name?
Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions. And that was actually the second one.
She gestures towards the fish
Indeed,
nets.
you're always confused as to your whereabouts. Ask her about the cool sword. Helps to break the ice.
Nice sword. Does it come with a story?
Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks mostly.
She smiles at her own joke. Hold on, do you know how to use
Not
it?
really. I know some basic moves, and I know it sure as hell beats a knife when you're in a tough spot.
It is imposing.
It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe. Nothing fancy, just for intimidation.
Why do you need intimidation tactics?
From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time.
She adds, tittering. Why don't more women arm themselves if it's so effective? Oh.
What makes you think we haven't? The truth is that almost everyone in this life is scared and tired and stupid and too dull for that. That goes for men too. But they put on an act for us. Pretend like everything's good and living in shit doesn't bother them. Like anyone falls for that.
That does not go for real men. It does not go for you. Show her. Show her the wonder.
Behold. Her eyes meet yours and suddenly she starts laughing. It's hoarse, as if she hasn't laughed in a long time.
Not bad.
Do you like it?
Sure. It looks as if you could face down any horror in the world with that same unchanging grin. It's like a shield.
The traces of her laughter are still there, in her eyes, fading fast.
So where are all the men
Some
now?
went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. And one of them, I ended up marrying.
Wait, why? If they're
Yes,
thick-headed,
I enjoyed the way he bled.
her expression doesn't change. It's hard to say if it's a
If
joke.
it is, then why the melancholy?
Where's your husband
Gone.
now?
The harbour seawall endures the wash of the freezing waves. Many things wash up against it and onto the beaches of Rivershore. Some inanimate, some just no longer alive. You shudder.
Gone
To
where?
the waves. The sea took him. It was a long time ago.
Oh,
He didn't respect the sea. Went out there, drunk like a skunk, and sure enough, one day the boat was found floating empty. A bloated corpse turned up 2 weeks later. Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I've moved on. There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with sinewy muscles.
She really liked those muscles, though. It's in the way she pronounces sinewy.
time really is the best cure for sorrow, isn't
Us
it?
working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. I buried him, mourned for an appropriate amount of time, and went on. Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
She glances at the village where two little kids are playing with what look like
This is
rocks.
neither a touchy nor a very interesting topic for her. She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, better, drunk. Ask her. Both of you could need some action.
Do it! Hit on the widow! It's the right thing to do!
Oh my fucking god. 3%, that is hilarious. Oh god. The necktie is so fucking obnoxious. I'm looking for someone, maybe you can help?
Let's see. Who are you looking for?
She tilts her head ever so slightly. Looking for a suspect who may have stayed in this
Okay.
neighborhood.
When did this person stay here?
Very recently, over the past few days. She might have arrived on Friday.
I've been out on the sea for most of the past week. The weather's been good for fishing, so I usually start at 4 in the morning.
She looks slightly disappointed. Really?
Yes, that's the optimal time. Got to make the most of the calm. I've been sleeping like a corpse after. The sea really takes its toll. Now I'm just waiting for the wind to settle to get out there again. Sorry I couldn't help you out. Maybe I can help you find someone else.
A faint smile runs across her face. I'm looking for a missing cryptozoologist.
I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate?
She frowns, thinking. People who look for animals, mainstream scientists and I
Aha.
exist.
Like snowmen?
Snowmen? Haven't heard about
Two
those.
old guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking nonsense about snowmen and the like.
Wait, the like?
Right. Not only snowmen, also green men, monkey men burning rhinos. You get the picture.
Koldomamadakwa? Where did they go?
Don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you looking for besides snowmen?
Working class husband.
Yeah, I'm not really looking for that anymore. Not much into the middle class ones either. Could do with some landed gentry, but apparently they don't make those anymore.
The husband isn't for me. I'm looking for him for his
I
wife.
wish I could help you with that, but I haven't seen your working class husband. Maybe I can help you find someone else.
She seems genuinely sorry for not being able to help you.
Really?
That's it.
Are you sure you're not also looking for Nadia Harnancourt? Or Ignis Nielsen? Or the great lost city of Ace, Under the Waves?
I am looking for a lot of stuff, ain't I?
A lot of stuff.
She concurs with a smile. I guess so. Doesn't feel like a lot to me. I could be doing more. Maybe there's someone missing from your life?
There's plenty missing, but that's too much for even an eager terrier like you to handle. Although you seem very thorough. Tell me, instead, is there something else I can help you with?
Thura. He's a good man. And Thura. I was asked to get your signature.
Are you? This says by signing, I agree to living with construction noise. What exactly is the Union building?
Her eyes dart back and forth on the paper. Everett's planning to turn some of the village into a youth
What a
center.
nice idea. Wouldn't have thought that.
Her voice trails off. Thought what
That
exactly?
Everard and the Union have nice plans for anything. I thought they only cared about themselves. Well, I guess Union members have children too.
On second thought, don't
Aye,
sign
if you
them.
say so. Probably better that way. I mean, who likes construction noise?
What do you do around
Like I
here?
said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids, pick nets. Right now I'm tarring a little skiff.
What
I
else?
sell the fish to people in the Delta to serve at their fancy restaurants. Authentic insular Indian cuisine.
Is that enough to make a living?
Sometimes I also walk to the beach to see what the sea has given up. The sea is full of surprises.
This is what is called a conversation. You don't have to be guarded right now.
Interesting. What have you
Wood,
found?
pieces of glass. Every once in a while we see dead bodies. Human, animal, fish, other odd sea creatures. A mine washed ashore once. Bottles, drugs also. Lost cargo in general. Most of the time it's just wood and glass.
Mines. Mines. You need mines.
A mine? The RCM could use a mine. Where is
Well,
it?
the RCM has to wait for another one because some army folks came by, took it in the middle of the bay and blew it up. The blast was surprisingly timid for such a huge spiky thing.
She spits over the railing.
Spiky must have been a naval contact mine.
So I take that's your skiff.
Sure is. The sun, I call her, coated with a fresh layer of tar just yesterday. It'll take some time for it to dry, assuming the sunny days continue.
Okay, we're not gonna ask her out. We're just gonna go. This boat is floating freely in the water, unmoored. The planks creak beneath your weight.
I'll just keep the Corda Lacey in the channel, if that's okay. It's too shallow near the pier.
She winds the mooring line
Aye,
around the
ma'am.
post.
And it's a jetty, by the way. Of course. Jetty. I prefer a good jetty to a pier any day. Jetty? Hello,
Hello, ma'am.
detectives.
She fastens the end of the line around the post and straightens
It's
her
good
back.
to see you here. I only just arrived myself.
What brings you here, madame?
Nothing, really. I've had my eye on this jetty for weeks now, so I decided to investigate it personally. This cluster of buildings isn't on any of the official maps, as far as I can tell.
That. And she's also keeping an eye on you.
Have you been spying on us?
Spying has such a negative connotation. I did track your progress along the coast, however, and decided I would be better able to assist you from here. Then there's the matter of that little scamp in old lady clothes. She threatened to paint the cordelate she read. Like blood, you see. Well, I like it the way it is. White.
What is this? Destruction of property? Hooliganism? Elder abuse? And who is this scamp, anyway?
Who is this scamp?
No need. Lillian and I are getting on much better. For one, she appreciates the concept of rent.
So how do you like it here?
How do I like it?
She casts her gaze towards the village. Slush melting on the cinder blocks. Construction work left half finished 10 years ago.
Water drips down eaves of Eternite. The jetty below her feet creaks to the tune. The smell of salt and dog shit in the background.
It's pornographically poor. The street has no name. All the men are dead or missing. And is that the carcass of a motor carriage over there?
She
I'm
squints her
surprised
eyes.
that woman hasn't put me to the sword yet. Maybe she will. You should ask your questions while you can.
Dark eyes survey the coast leading up to Martinez. Dull grey metal rests in her scabbard. A sword. The wind is too loud for her to hear.
Fortunately for you, madame, the RCM is on the scene.
Real men, real politics, real thoughts in your head.
Try not to be scared. This is just how the real city looks.
I'm not frightened, officer. I'd never...
She leans against the railing, looking up at the grey
Above
sky.
you, there forms a quilt of altocumulus clouds, twisting into each other. The wind tugs and stretches them over the bay. Their cloud shadows slide over the ruins of Revachol West. Wherever they pass, the temperature drops slightly, but perceptibly. It's early spring, and the rains are coming. An officer enters a low hut of stone and wood. Inside, weapons are piled against the walls. Rifles with splintering stocks, and swords, tens, if not hundreds. They're antiques, says Lieutenant John, the archetype McCoy, to his partner. They're digging them up from the catacombs now, fixing them. Old caches from the Revolution. The children carry them up. Come May, the streets will be flooded. Outside, the wind rattles the loose hatches, flooded with cheap weapons in angry hands.
Have I told you how they discovered this place?
The wind picks up, her raincoat flaps in the gust. This fishing
No,
village?
They're in Sealindian, Isola.
Oh, you haven't told me how they found
Well,
it.
your condition has left you no worse off than most of these people. The literacy rate is around 45% west of the river. 50 years of occupation have left these people in an oblivion of poverty.
%45 is around where I operate. Things are getting better,
I
though.
knew you would sympathize. Most Revacholians will never know what this place means. Our home. This island of matter. Or why they were ferried over in the first place. Remind me to tell you one day. For now, how can I assist you in this new location?
She corrects the scarf around her neck. Tell me now. We have
Do
time.
we?
He glances at his watch. He doesn't look like he
I
does.
hear you have singled out a suspect and are in pursuit. This is cause for cautious optimism. I would not want to delay you.
This story she will tell only before she leaves Martinez, at the very end of her stay.
Maybe there is something else I can assist you with, while you're hot in pursuit.
Found my badge, by the way.
Love, you did.
She inspects a piece of blue plastic, her eyes scanning from left
She
to
is
right.
memorizing your badge number.
Pleased to meet you, Lieutenant W. Frater Dubois. I am glad to see a man of high qualification. The situation is precarious. What can I help you with, Lieutenant Frater?
That's it. The ladder leads to a school of fish swimming in the kelp. Alright, we gotta figure out where we're going. We've been in here. Want to say that's the yes. What do we have here?
Weather has not been kind to Lily's little sandcastle. The once mighty towers are quickly eroding away. You can see something shining back to you from what must have been a vast underground catacomb network.
The
Broken.
little castle? The reigning lord must have come upon some really tough times to let it sleep in such decrepitude.
The lieutenant smiles a little. Reach in the catacombs and pull out the shiny
The walls
object.
and floors give way to the giant's greed, collapse and present you with a pair of ceramic gauntlets.
Congratulations. That's the gauntlets down then. We're doing good on the armor collection front.
Are we though? We're not able to get the full set. Looking back at you from the rust-colored water, you. Rust-eaten letters read, Mazut. A little black swallow circles above you. You hear it chirp. Beams are splintered, the bridge didn't collapse on its own, artillery broke it. No boat in the boathouse today. This section of the coast hasn't been used in decades. Oversized superstar sunglasses. The boathouse is shoddily constructed. A strong breeze might blow it over. Ancient paint is peeling off the roof of the shaded bench covered in rust.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Look, Kim, even more bullet holes. Something definitely gone down here.
Correct. The density of the bullet holes is unusual. Even in a general average bullet hole frequency in Martinez's sense. Grim affairs. Meaning, this is a lot of bullet holes. Looks like fully automatic rifle fire. Something you don't see these days.
Why
The
not?
manufacturing and sale of automatic rifles was curtailed after the revolution. The destructive power of such tools proved to be too much. We do need to retain some humanity in this world.
Why this many bullet holes?
A row of ghostly shades
No
stand
fucking
facing
way.
the wall. There are many of them, a dozen at least, their heads lowered and eyes blindfolded. It's quiet. No sound, no movement. 10 meters away, other shades are lined up in an orderly manner, automatic rifles primed. A gust of wind blows by. The coats of the firing squad flap slowly in the breeze. A single person stands on the side.
I was calling
Droplets
this.
of rain fall on the wooden planks, the surrounding sand dunes. The clouds block out any rays of light. A long time has passed since the moment of this fusillading. Rain and brine have since washed all the blood away. Not a trace remains.
What is
The
this?
abundance of bullet holes leads to two options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. Looks like this was a mass execution with everyone fully armed.
Look at the people against the
A
wall.
host of men, probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict and covered in dust. They were not sitting, a common practice for executions in some nations, as demonstrated by the height level of the bullet holes. They stand, facing the wall. It's impossible to discern any details about their personality or background. Ordinary people, familiar, each and every one of them.
Who were they?
Comrades, the forsaken, the wretched, who tried to rise against the horrors of the world.
Look at the line of soldiers.
7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic rifles aimed at the people. Soldiers from some side, but from which one?
Look at the person standing on the side.
The commandant, the one who gives the order. Machine gun fire crackling through the air, the lights of the muzzle flashes dancing on his face.
Kim, who was who in this execution?
I don't know. I don't know who died here, lined up beside that horrible wall. It could have been any of the parties involved in the revolution. Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservatives, killed by the communists at the start of the Civil War. Or it could have been the communists, put to death during the last stretch of the conflict by the coalition forces. It could even have been the employees of the failed R&D center down the coast, as their building was taken over by the revolutionaries.
Or maybe...
You mentioned coalition forces. Could it have been them against the wall?
Yeah, it's very unlikely the coalition forces were the ones who died here. They were always the last ones against the wall. To be honest, if a coalition member was anyone in this situation, it was a commandant, the superior giving the orders.
cold sea wind blows away the figures. Behind this building, the other one, once filled with engineers and designers of Feld Electric, now collapsed and dead, but for some rats. You feel drawn, for some reason, to the faded mural again.
Door is not only barred shut, it is inaccessible. Door, a building, a hiding place. Could the instigator be inside? Rear tire of a motor carriage adorns these reeds. You should come back here when it snows. A strange feeling. Passes quickly.
There's something feral crouched between the rocks.
Something
Something
feral?
primal. Something forbidden. Back away. Very slowly.
Where is it?
By the water.
Got it. Do a little quick save before we do this. School of fish huddle around the fence post, then scatter into the dark. Yeah?
Yes?
I wasn't trying to talk to you. For you, a drawbridge. It can only be lowered from the other side. Full of holes. Could the post hide treasure? Inside. That is a yes. Must have taken a lot of patience to do that. A little monster from the stone, rather from somebody's garden. Trash from some unending pantry. The hole screwed into the ice keeps the tent erect. More tribalistic markings. This post is covered in little humanoids.
A pane of Eternite has been planted into the snow. 2 poles are holding it up. Barely holding it up. It could fall over any minute. A stronger gust of wind might be enough.
What is
It
this?
looks like a makeshift bridge. Could be convenient.
The pane
Push it
falls
over.
into the icy snow with a soft thunk.
We should ask that girl on the ice what's going on here.
Lieutenant gestures towards the young woman next to the tent. Okay, I gotta run off and do a couple of things. I'm gonna go ahead and stop. And, I might be back in a little bit, and I might not. So if I'm not, then hope you have an awesome night, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for being here. This has been a boy named Sue, coming at you live straight from Baked Potato. And maybe I'll see you in a little bit.